Yeah, it's been a long time since I did one of these. Basically, wanted to talk about consistency of all things since I haven't made one of these videos in about over 2 years, maybe even 3 years. So yeah, I was having a conversation with someone today about leveling up and what it takes to do so. And my conclusion is that anything that you do has to be consistent. It means you have to do it on a regular basis if you want to see sustainable results. You can't just, say like, for example, I have a goal of losing X amount of pounds, and you try like a crash diet, and you may lose a lot of weight very fast, but then oftentimes the weight comes back because after the crash diet, you go back to your regular eating habits that you were doing before. Or likewise, you can't just expect to start exercising like crazy for a couple of months and then stop and expect to retain those results. You have to keep going. So rather than taking an extreme approach to things, like I just said with the example of a crash diet, liquid diet, or crazy exercise regimen for a short term and then stopping, it's better to start slowly, develop consistency, and maintain consistency. Then that way, in the long run, you reach your goals and you can maintain your goals. So, I kind of had that wrong attitude, I guess, when I first started making videos. One day I said, I want to make YouTube videos. And I started doing them like every day or every weekday. I'd make a video, 5 minutes long, 10 minutes long, or maybe a little bit longer, break it up. And I did that for maybe about a month or 2 months, and then I just stopped. I ran out of things to say. Had I taken the approach of start slow, develop consistency, build up, remain consistent, and then continue like that, I would have had, longevity. I would have had a lot more content and better results. And that goes for anything that I try or anything that you may try. Whether it's education, you want to learn a new skill, take it slow at first. Research what does it take to learn this skill. Estimate how much time out of your week, because you already probably have an established lifestyle. Your day's already taken up, whether it's working a job, running a business, exercising, taking care of your family, or whatever. Now you want to add a new thing to it, right? And then you wonder why you crash and burn. And that's happened to me many times. Whether it's been with diets, the examples that I've given, those are real examples. Crazy diets, crazy exercise regimens, trying to implement something too fast without having the requisite knowledge, not knowing what it takes to build up on that thing. The result is you just crash and burn. So it's better to learn the beginning steps, learn your fundamentals, take that time. Even though it might seem boring, it might seem easy, you may know some of those principles, go over them again. Make sure you understand them. Make sure that you can commit to that thing that you aspire to, and that advice really started to click for me while I was taking some Islamic classes. My teacher there is always hammering the fundamentals. And it's really important. So like that and another class that I took when I was when I was learning some new skills, even that class, they hammered in the fundamentals. We actually, it was a 6-month course, and and it started off with about 20, 30 hours of instruction on the fundamentals, the basics of that subject before you actually dive into learning new things and advanced topics. You really got to get the fundamentals down, and actually as you're learning those fundamentals, you're developing that habit of longevity. You know, something else that I'm doing, I'm getting back into exercising, and in the past, when I would try to get back into it, I would just jump into it full force, and then I would burn out. Then I remembered, when I first started exercising, and I maintained it for about 5 or 6 years. I had started slow, got the fundamentals down, built up, and maintained that longevity. How did I do that? I was probably at this time, I lost about 40 pounds in the grand scheme of things. 40 pounds. Did I say 50? 40 pounds. And I started going to a gym, and at this gym, the owners were doing some corrupt stuff with the finances. So the gym closed down. It was actually on the news. It's kind of funny. This is in Macon, Georgia, years ago. So after I had no gym membership, I found this boot camp exercise online, and it was one of those short-term things. But after it, you're supposed to I wanted to keep going. So it started off as you do 100 push-ups a day, 100 squats, 100 sit-ups, and 100 calf lifts, and then you run 2 miles. You do that every day, and it was a 30-day thing. And probably by like the third day, I was so sore I wanted to quit, but I saw it through because it was like a short-term thing. But after I finished, I wanted to keep it going, and I had asked one of my friends who was into fitness at the time for some advice. I wanted to get into running, and he said, well, start off by walking, and when you walk, jog for a minute, and every time you walk, add another minute. So I'd walk for an hour every other day or something like that. Then I would stop. Then I would jog for a minute. Next day, walk, jog for 2 minutes. Next day, walk, jog for 3 minutes, and I kept on doing that until I got to the point where I was jogging for an hour. And I changed my diet a little bit. I was eating boiled eggs, oatmeal, tuna with no condiments, basically little to no fat and carbs to get me through the exercising. So by the time I was done with the boot camp and got into the walk-in, I'd lost so much weight. It looked like I had no fat in my face. So then I stopped the diet, but I kept up with the jogging. All right. Then I got into another gym. I was in college at the time, so I was using their gym. So I got into working out, and then the jogging, and I maintained that working out and jogging for about 5 or 6 years. Then I got married, and then slowly stopped. Family started to grow, other responsibilities, full-time work, everything like that. So then I kind of fell off slowly with the exercising, but I'd come back every once in a while. So I started to gain weight again. Then I got into quick diets, quick fix diets. I try to feed at work. You lose 10 pounds real fast in 10 days, but then you go back to eating regular, and then you gain your weight back, and then some. So probably about 3 months ago, I said, let me start walking. I found this little exercise program that someone at work shared. So it was calisthenics every day, different kind of calisthenics every day for 30 days, and walking every day for 30 days. So I did that. Then when the calisthenics stopped, I modified it to do my own calisthenics, and then walking. Then I started adding the jogging. Now I'm back. I recently got back to jogging 3 days a week. Now, back when I was in shape, I was jogging 4 or 5 days a week and working out about 4 days a week. I was in very good shape. So now I'm back to calisthenics a couple times a week and jogging 3 times a week. I maintained that for about a month, and I intend to, for the next 30 days, drop the jogging to 2 days a week and the calisthenics up it to 3 days a week. And I'm going to alternate, hopefully, like every other month with that. So, and I'm slowly starting to see results. But that's what happens when you work consistently. You see the results slowly, but they're long lasting as long as you keep up the regimen. So I'm going to take that approach to other things, whether it's dealing with people like children, your own children, whether it's saying, hey, I want to improve my life circumstances, I want to gain new skills, and I want to move up at work, or I want to level up in business, right? Or I want to level up at work and establish a business. I'm going to take the same approach of take the time to do the research, understand what it's going to take, and have a consistent approach, and then maintain that, and also with food too, eating healthy. I'm gonna take that approach with that too. Because as you get older, and as your responsibilities in life increase, it becomes more difficult to execute those dreams that you had when you didn't have the responsibility. So you have to use your brain and figure out strategies that allow you to implement, execute, and excel, with the increased responsibilities that come with being an adult. All right. So I just wanted to, I'm outside right now, like I said, in my new free studio. I saw a nice bright light, so I'm taking advantage of that free studio time. Never mind the noise in the back. That's just the construction going on, and as we're building up the new studio. No, I'm just joking around. And I wanted to get back on here because that's another thing that I want to do. Create content. That's always been a passion of mine. Blogging, fiddling with websites, talking in front of the camera, all of that stuff, and analyzing it, seeing how I can grow it. That's one of those things that I can do as a hobby. I don't really need to get paid for it. I just enjoy doing it for the sake of doing it and learning about the different techniques that come along with it. So anyways, I hope to, if I come back to this spot on a regular basis, to start to make more videos and just kind of talking about things that I'm doing, and hopefully if somebody's out there watching, listening, you can get some benefit and come along for the ride. All right.